Shared every day, timeless messages in the music from the maestro Robert Nesta Marley and the Wailers from the Uprising. LP, CD, whatever you have in your collection, we hope you have it for real. And I want to let folk know that the second annual Baltimore Black International Film Festival coming to Charm City next Friday. And we have a brother on the line. He's a native of Baltimore. His name is Shawn Carter Peterson, graduate of Vassar College, cum laude, with a dual degree in drama, Africana studies, and is one of Hollywood's up-and-coming young actors and film producer, amongst many things. Welcome to WEAA, Brother Shawn.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Oh, man, the pleasure is all yours. So now, you're one of Hollywood's up-and-coming actors. We didn't read the rest of the bio because we want you to let folks know how would they know you. What have you appeared in, my brother?
Most recently, I was in a little film called Pitch Perfect 2 that came out this year. I've done a lot of different television shows. The last thing was NCIS New Orleans, House, Castle. I kind of pop up here and there.
Okay, you're very modest. You're HBO, FX. You've done a lot of commercials and whatnot. What's the big commercial that folks should know you're in?
Let's see. Most recently, I guess it was, there was a McDonald's commercial that was two brothers working in a big office building, and I played one of the, I guess I played the most successful one, and I come in and I leave my brother that's working at the desk, I leave him a Big Mac meal with extra sauce. That's everything that I do. So yeah, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, I just did a spot for Pepsi, Volvo, Volkswagen. I've been, LA's been very good to me. I cannot complain, really.
So you've been working, and that's what's up, my brother.
Thanks.
So tell us how a brother from Baltimore becomes an actor and a film producer, because we understand that you have a Bob Marley short that will be featured. Tell us about that.
Yeah, man, I'd always, I went to Friends School up on Charles Street, and we had a really, really good theater program. So I started doing plays from the 7th grade. My very, very first play was the lead role in Peter Pan, which is kind of fun because, he gets to fly around, and they strung me up, and I did what I had to do. And I kind of always knew I wanted to go into acting. So I went to Vassar and studied there, and then moved out to L.A. and just hit the ground running. Started doing a lot of theater, and started with a lot of commercials, and then now I'm doing movies, which is a wonderful thing, And while I was doing that, the thing is, when you do a lot of commercials, a lot of times you have a lot of downtime because you don't necessarily have to work a day job, quote unquote, even though acting is a 24/7 gig. And I kind of got bored, and I started to create my own little projects, directing music videos, directing short films, and the Bob Marley piece kind of just came out of all of that, if you will.
And explain to us what that is, the Bob Marley piece there, because...
What I did was, back in college, when I went to college, I wasn't really exposed that much to Bob Marley as a child, so when I got to college, even though I knew who he was, I didn't really know his music. And a lot of the kids in school were listening to a lot of Bob Marley, and there was a large Caribbean population when I was at Vassar, and so I kind of got exposed to him and the messages that he was talking about, and just kind of this human rights ideal, trying to get human beings to really, really love one another and stop so much hatred, and that kind of spoke to me. And I had a friend of mine who told me that he said, "You kind of look like Bob Marley." I was like, "Yeah, I don't look like no Bob Marley." And then what happened was they had his biography out, and I was looking through the pictures, and there was just one particular picture. It was his wedding picture when he first got married to Rita Marley, and he had the short hair before he grew his hair out into the fro and before he grew the locks, and I was like, whoa, that kind of does look like him. So what happened was I decided one day that I wanted to try to recreate some photos that, some of the iconic photos of Bob Marley that we'd seen over the years. And I had a meeting with some friends of mine, a photographer friend of mine named Darian Davis, stylist friend of mine, Eric Hollis, and we were like, let's do some Bob photos. And I pulled some out, and while I was thinking about it, I was like, you know what? If you're going to go through all this work and all this trouble to try to recreate something, why don't you really actually go for it? And I was a little nervous at first because, Bob is sacred to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I was I was scared. I'm not going to lie. I was scared to do it because I didn't want people to, I didn't want to not do it well. You know what I mean? You can't get out there and halfway do something, especially when it's somebody like Bob Marley. Come on,
That's right.
So I decided that what I was going to do was I watched a lot of Bob's interviews, and I transcribed the interviews, took him word for word, wrote the stuff down, and then I figured out, I said, well, maybe if I had this be kind of like I'm being interviewed as Bob and use his own words but put them in a different context. So that's what I did. I took Bob's own words and I hired a dialect coach and did a lot of studying. I've always been a fan of Jamaican culture since I went to college, and so I just kind of called up some friends of mine who were Jamaican and said, yo, help me out with this, And we sat down and we put it together in 2 days. That's kind of how it happened.
Wow. And I've seen a photo of Catch Your Fire, right? Because when I saw that, I said, hold up, that's not Bob. Okay.
Look closely.
It was a good photo there. So tell us about this undocumented short. Is it a short? Is it a short film?
It's a short film. Yeah, it's a short film. Because it was kind of like a teaser, a tester. I was like, well, let me get my feet wet and get a little 10-minute segment underway. It really started off as 20 minutes, and then we whittled it down because some of it was just a little. It was, it's in a short. It's kind of you need to get to the point. You know what I mean? It's not like a 2-hour biopic. And I decided that I wanted to make a bio short, which I'd never really seen before. Basically, a biopic but in short form. And basically, I shot on film. I shot on 16-millimeter film and 8-millimeter film, and also on digital video because I wanted to get a real, authentic look for the piece. So basically, it's as if some guys from the BBC found some lost footage in their vault, and they put together a retrospective on Bob's life. And that's kind of the context that it's in.
Okay.
So it's kind of like they just found some old footage that they'd never used before, and they put it together to kind of just get a broad stroke of who the man is, or was, or still is.
Yes, I. Very, very interesting. And of course, that is it a premiere?
It is a East Coast premiere of the Bob Marley piece. We did screen it once, but it wasn't in competition. It was just a small screening at a film festival in Atlanta, the Peachtree International Film Festival. Kind of some friends were like, hey, come down and show your film. And it was me and, a cousin and a couple friends that lived down there. So it was really, this is the biggest thing that we've had for it. I'm really, really excited for it.
Yes,
it's part of the Baltimore International Black Film Festival, and we screen next Friday at 4:30.
That's right.
In Baltimore.
Yes. And we're going to give folks all the address and all the time. Again, that's, what do you call it, the unofficial bio of Bob Marley. What's the title of it?
Yeah, it's called the Untitled Bob Marley Project.
Okay.
I didn't want to give it, a name. That's the name that came up. You know what I mean? You try to be deep and end up, you fall short. So
no, that's safe. That's safe. Well, will you be here and will you be speaking about it?
I will be in town. I get in town on Thursday, and I will be there to present the film and to ask any questions that people have, and talk about the process, and just be there to support a passion project of mine. Ideally, one day I would like to expand it and maybe do the feature. We'll actually do the feature, but right now this is just kind of like a tester to see what people like, what people don't like, and I'm pretty proud of it, man. It's been something that I've worked on for a long time, and it's been through various stages. So this is a good thing, and to bring it home. Me being I'm from Cherry Hill, born and raised, so that's my home stomping grounds. I'm glad to come home and share it with people.
Well, I'm quite sure folk love to have you forward here at home. Any folks you want to shout out while you have their ear?
Well, yeah, I definitely need to give a shout out to my father, Harold. Harold, he works with Social Security. He's been there for years. working hard, and I'm glad I'm going to come home and see him. And definitely want to give a shout-out to Ken over at the Film Festival for helping work this out, and apparently Cheryl, who worked it out as well.
My girl, Cheryl.
Yeah, you know, I mean, a lot of people have come and helped me out over the years, and I'm just forever grateful because, you know, you never can do any of this stuff on your own. And shout out to my wife, Cy Smith, who supports me in everything that I do.
My man, you gotta make sure your other half is acknowledged. Shawn Carter Peterson, we truly give thanks for you spending some time with us, my brother. We're looking forward to seeing you at the 2nd Annual Baltimore International Black Film Festival, beginning October 7th, going through the 12th at various locations at the Charles and at the Baltimore University. For more information, it's 1-844. For more information, it's 1-844-424-2331, or you can log on World Wide Web, BIBFF.com. And, of course, before we leave Reggae Roots and Culture, we'll give you some more information on that. Looking forward to seeing you next Friday, my brother, shaking your hand and seeing this unfinished project you have on Bob Marley.
Well, thank you, my man. Thanks for having me this morning. I really appreciate it.
We appreciate you getting up so early there on the West Coast time, giving us some love, my brother. Stay firm and stay strong and stay safe.
And good luck with all future endeavors.
Thank you. One love.
Blessed love.